Hey everyone, and welcome back to Salesforce Ben LinkedIn Lives. This is the second one in 2 days, which is really great to see. Two massively popular LinkedIn Lives this week. And today we're going to be talking about Experience Cloud, the ultimate guide to Salesforce Experience Clouds. Now, it's been a while since I've implemented Experience Cloud, but back in the day when I used to be a consultant, it was my favorite product to implement. The fact that you could, use this drag and drop interface, dragging on Lightning components onto a page to create this truly custom experience for your users, your partners, or even customers is really, really impressive. And I always think like Experience Clouds used to be called Community Cloud. It's always like quite easy to get stuck in, but very hard to master. So today we're going to be learning from the experts. So I'm going to be introducing Tom. Tom.
Hey, Ben.
And Rebekah from Advanced Communities to take us through this great presentation. We'll be having a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions throughout the session, please drop them in the comments and we'll get around to as many as we can. So Tom, Rebekah, I'll hand over to you.
Hey, thanks so much, Ben. Yeah, really great to be here. And thanks everybody for joining us. I'm Tom Furtney with Advanced Communities and really excited to walk you through a lot about Experience Cloud and hopefully you'll gather some insights and just great to be here. Okay, so what is Experience Cloud? Well, you heard Ben kind of allude to this. It was formerly known as Community Cloud. Before that, maybe it was Portals, but it's kind of an all-encompassing category of Salesforce around digital experience. So you'll hear those names kind of interchange between Community Cloud, Portals, Communities. But I think of Salesforce as this window into Salesforce that you want your customers to experience. So you're all on the same platform. You're basically accessing the data that's in your CRM, and now you're able to share that with an external audience. So that external audience could be customers, or that could be partners, or it could be other types of external constituents, maybe some members if you are a member-based organization. Okay. Was that? Okay. So I'm going to keep going. Basically, that's what Experience Cloud is. It gives you that ability to share data that you already have in your Salesforce CRM with that external audience. And it's a full digital experience. And I think of it as this engagement layer of Salesforce. So it allows you really to meet your customers, partners, and other external constituents kind of where they are. And it's done in a way that's a very, it can be a branding experience, or a branded experience rather, that looks and feels very much like the core properties and your core website. So it's a very seamless experience, because that a lot of times is really important, especially when it's a customer facing portal or community rather than just something that's an internal. And it really is that seamless digital experience. So Rebekah, if you want to go ahead and go to the next slide, and hopefully the audio is okay. So, why Experience Cloud? Why should you consider Salesforce Experience Cloud? There's obviously a lot of other solutions that are out there, but why Experience Cloud? So these are, to me, some of the three key elements that make Experience Cloud a really valuable solution. So first one is just around design. You may not be aware of this, and one of the things I forgot to mention early on, I know we've got a wide range of folks here in the audience, from beginners to experts. I'm going to try and kind of go right down the middle. But if you are a beginner, some of it you might feel is a little bit over your head. If you're an expert, some of it might seem a little bit mundane, but I'm going to try and kind of strike that balance. But back to why Experience Cloud, design is really an important element. Again, if it's a customer-facing property, you're going to want to be able to match the branding requirements that are coming from your marketing team. And Salesforce Experience Cloud really does allow for that. So you can really create what we refer to as a pixel perfect design and deliver a really best in class user experience. again, a very seamless experience as you come into a core website and then navigate to one of these Experience Cloud communities. It looks and feels just like where you started. So that's a really great experience that you're delivering. The middle one, when I mentioned integration, integration can kind of mean a lot of things, but Salesforce I think of as a kind of a hub. It's a great solution in that you're able to integrate with third-party applications. You're able to pull data in from other endpoints and from outside of Salesforce, but it also allows for the application of pre-built apps that you can go find on the App Exchange, for example. And those are pre-built, pre-configured. You just drop them into your community and it delivers kind of speed to value. So you're able to create an Experience Cloud community. You can integrate with third-party applications, and there's a lot of pre-built solutions on the App Exchange that you can bring into the Experience Cloud experience. And then the last one that I'll cover on here is just flexibility and customization. So Experience Cloud is a really very flexible part of the Salesforce platform. And as I go through some of these next slides, you'll understand because there are so many use cases that you can address with Experience Cloud. Again, customers, partners, other external constituents, you can all deliver great experiences for those individuals. And again, kind of meeting them where they are. So Rebekah, if you want to go ahead and skip over to the next slide. So you can see a pretty wide range of use cases here. Microsites, storefronts. So you can think of Experience Cloud as being able to deliver a commerce experience, or account portals. A big use case that we see quite a bit are help centers or support centers. And two examples down there would be Mulesoft and BigCommerce are both leveraging Experience Cloud today in interacting with customers and providing support, and kind of that overall kind of self-serve experience. Partner portals is also another use case. So instead of interacting with customers, now you're interacting with partners that would be doing things like driving sales through an indirect channel. They're going to be wanting to do things like deal registration, maybe get onboarded and enabled as a partner, et cetera. And then as you go through on the right hand of the slide, I talked about some other external audiences that you might want to be engaging with. So those might be within a member-based organization, you might be engaging with members, volunteers, donors. All those different use cases can be addressed with Experience Cloud. So it really is a very capable platform, and it is really something that's very flexible. So hopefully that gives you a good understanding just to kind of the breadth that comes with Experience Cloud. So Rebekah, if you want to go ahead and move on over to the next slide. So the next part of my discussion is going to be, okay, great. So we sort of understand, what is Experience Cloud and what are the kind of the key benefits? Well, how do I go about launching a successful Experience Cloud site? So here are some of the kind of key elements. You really want to think about creating that sort of shared vision. You want to make sure as much as possible that you understand your key stakeholders, because when you're doing something like this, you're likely going to be touching a lot of different parts of an organization. Obviously, we've been talking about the external audience. So you would want to understand, well, what are your customers or what are your partners looking to do? What's working for them today, or where are they seeing some challenges, and how can we maybe solve those with Experience Cloud? But also internally, you're going to want to build some momentum around the overall engagement, because again, you're going to be touching a lot of different individuals from different parts of the organization, because with Experience Cloud, you're going to have, as I mentioned, if it's around sort of what is the overall user experience look like? What is the branding going to look like? Well, marketing is going to likely want to have a say in that. Or, hey, if we're talking about providing some knowledge articles, for example, to customers, well, then you're going to be wanting to engage with your support team. So you really want to try as much as possible is to understand those key stakeholders as you start to go through a discussion on what it looks like to deliver a successful Experience Cloud site. And then number 3 is just not only preparing your organization and being able to plan for success, you also want to be thinking ahead. And what does that success plan look like once you launch the new Experience Cloud site? And you want to make sure in advance you're planning for things like enablement, training, you want to drive adoption, et cetera. So those are all some kind of key elements when you're thinking about how do I create a successful Experience Cloud site. And if you want to go to the next slide, Rebekah. So in talking about creating a shared vision, this was a quote that was shared with me recently. It goes back a few years, but I think it really hits the nail on the head. Purpose is good, but shared purpose is really even better. So that just kind of alludes to, again, kind of building a lot of momentum across different parts of the organization. So what are some of the questions that you might be asking is, what value is the experience bringing to your organization? Or what value are you going to be delivering to some of your key constituents? And it all comes down to proper planning and just making sure that everybody is in alignment with ideally shared goals for the engagement. So that's really, I think, a big piece of it is kind of getting that buy-in from, again, multiple stakeholders, because you are going to have likely folks from the technical side, the IT organization. And that's another point I want to kind of bring up again, that sometimes I'll go through a presentation and talking to a new customer that maybe isn't super familiar with Salesforce or Experience Cloud specifically, and I'll get through the entire sort of presentation and we've provided a demonstration of what it could look like. And a lot of times the question will come, well, how does that integrate with Salesforce? But that's one of the things you really want to remember is no integration required. Assuming you're using Salesforce for CRM, Experience Cloud is just an extension there. So there is no integration. So that's a real value. You're being able to maintain a single technology platform. And that's really something I think that needs to be shared as you're kind of navigating. All right, well, this is our plan. This is the investment we're going to see. This is the return on that investment that we're going to be expecting. But hey, from an IT perspective, it's on the single platform, and that's real value because now you don't have to find additional resources to support a new technology. So Rebekah, if you want to go ahead and. So the next phase is, okay, so now you've got some buy-in internally, you've got some momentum going, and it sounds like you're going to be making some headway. Well, how do you go about understanding, sort of your key stakeholders? You can certainly talk to the target audience. Involving those external stakeholders is really important. But kind of the caveat there is you don't want to get too many cooks in the kitchen because if you have too many voices trying to get to a single objective, you can get off track. But that doesn't mean you should completely eliminate them from the overall conversation. So I think it is really important as much as possible to at least maybe identify maybe some power users, or maybe you've got some key customers. And that second bullet, defining your key user personas. So that's one of the great things about Experience Cloud and Salesforce in general is just its ability for personalization. So it really allows you to deliver a unique experience for different types of personas or different types of customers. So if you're thinking about an Experience Cloud support or customer portal, you're going to have the ability to deliver different types of experiences based on the different types of customers that you're interacting with. So I always will go back and use sort of the, kind of the Olympic model of bronze, silver, and gold. Well, if I'm a gold customer, I'm going to have high expectations. And if I'm one of your key customers, then you should deliver maybe additional content or a better overall experience to those top level customers. And then if you're kind of a mid-tier customer, you're still going to see some things, but then maybe bronze is more of a self-serve experience. So that's just an example of how you can leverage the tool to really differentiate between different personas and different types of customers that are coming in. And the benefits that you're going to get out of that, more focus on your goals, better understanding of your requirements, and just overall better usability. And then the last bullet there is kind of an expedited path to value, or maybe to an MVP. And before we go to the next slide, just one of the things I would say, kind of just a recommendation, because Experience Cloud is such a comprehensive part of the Salesforce platform, I think it's really important to kind of take a phased approach when you're rolling out one of these Experience Cloud portals or communities, that you shouldn't try to deliver every piece of functionality from day one. That certainly wouldn't be my recommendation for a best practice. So understand, your key constituents and your stakeholders, identify, what are the kind of top critical elements you're going to need from day one, and really focus on that as being phase one or MVP. And then you get out of the gate, you start delivering success, you're driving adoption, and then from there you can build on that success as you go through the process. Rebekah, if you want to go to the next slide. So, and then just to kind of close out my portion of the discussion, what things should you be thinking about for preparing your organization? I think, quite a few of these we've already talked about, but, when you're thinking about executive sponsorship, well, what are the things that they're going to be looking at? Like I said earlier, okay, we're going to make this investment. How are we going to measure if it's a success or not? So let's have some defined metrics kind of going into this. Is that, usage? Is that adoption? We're driving new members or customers into the portal, things like that. So you can have some real tangible objectives so that you can go back once the community or the Experience Cloud portal has been launched. You can go back and say, yes, we hit those metrics. We've driven engagement. We've been able to deflect cases, and now our internal support agents are able to focus on higher value tasks, because what we're seeing is folks that are coming in and having a great self-serve experience in the Experience Cloud site are able to find answers on their own. And again, that allows your internal agents to focus on those higher value tasks. Train, you can never communicate enough. So make sure that there's a real plan for folks that are going to be, like I said, maybe you identify a smaller group that's a part of a beta or part of that MVP process so that you can build some momentum and get some real champions within the community. And that's going to help drive the overall success. And then the last is just around support and change management as you go through this process. Some of the things that I wanted to mention before I pass over to Rebekah, just some great resources. And I think these are going to get shared in the comments or the chat. But there's a couple of URLs that are shared. One is learnexperiencecloud.com. That's got some great information about just Experience Cloud in general, and some really nice examples of specific use cases. And there's also a great URL that will be shared as well that is in the Salesforce developer page, and that talks again about some specifics about Experience Cloud. And then one final thing I just wanted to mention, I don't know if I had covered this, is just around what's now available with Experience Cloud with CMS, or the content management system. Recently, Salesforce has included CMS with all Experience Cloud licensing, and that is really a great tool that will allow you to display your CRM data in a really nice, engaging way. And you're able to share that both with internal Salesforce touch points and also with external touch points. So it really is a great value that is now included with Experience Cloud licensing. You get full access to the Salesforce CMS. So that's definitely something that I would say, take a close look at as you go through one of these implementations. So that concludes my part of the discussion. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Rebekah.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. And thanks for the warm intro. So far you guys have learned an awful lot about Salesforce Experience Cloud and sort of what it takes to implement. And I think sort of my portion of the demo will be talking more about why. Tom says, you think I'm on mute. Can you hear me? You're good. Okay, great. So yeah, let's jump right in. Clearly, Experience Cloud is a solid foundation for sort of managing your constituents in Salesforce. But I want to talk through the why. What are sort of the key features and considerations that you should be aware of when you're implementing Experience Cloud? So the first is really going back to what Tom was talking about earlier, which is integration, right? Building bridges, not silos. And integration is sometimes a naughty word in the Salesforce ecosystem. You'll hear that sometimes when you're talking to partners or even to Salesforce. And Experience Cloud, I need to be clear, is not actually an integration with Salesforce because it is Salesforce. As Tom was saying, it is built directly on the Salesforce platform. It is part of Salesforce. But when you're looking at sort of third-party products, it's always good to look at those which are native to the Salesforce platform. You'll hear people use that word native quite a bit. So when you say native, it actually means that you're not integrated. You are built directly on the platform versus an integration, which is also important and also kind of a key feature of working with Salesforce and Experience Cloud when something native is not an option for you or for your organization. And in that case, seamless integration is not just a luxury, it's a necessity. And Salesforce Experience Cloud really excels at breaking down those silos and sort of bringing together data and tools and departments. And so by connecting every corner of your business, you sort of create this unified ecosystem that speaks with one voice. And it delivers this consistent and truly delightful experience to your customers, really at every touch point. Second thing I want to talk about is data centralization. You'll hear people in the ecosystem of Salesforce talk a lot about this, the power of a single source of truth. And we all know that data is, the lifeblood of modern businesses, but Salesforce Experience Cloud really leverages Salesforce data architecture to centralize your customer information. So that single source of truth really empowers your team with accurate insights, things like driving smarter decisions, and maybe even creating a foundation for your personalized interaction. And we're going to talk about that a bit deeper here in the next few minutes. So personalization, forging real connections. Today's customers expect more than a one-size-fits-all approach. When you go to log into a website, you love to see that things are speaking to you directly, that the things that you are interested in or passionate about are the things that you're seeing on your screen. And that could be different for every constituent or member of your Salesforce community. So you want to be able to personalize the interactions that you have with each of those individuals based on their membership type. So with Salesforce Experience Cloud, you sort of get that power to craft these individual journeys with a templated approach. So by understanding your customer behaviors, all things that you can find within CRM, things like preferences, user history, you can deliver this tailor-made experience that really fosters genuine connections and also trust and loyalty within the organization or membership. Fourth is automation. So really elevating efficiency, elevating experiences. Automation isn't just about speeding up the processes. It's about elevating the quality of your customer experiences. So with Experience Cloud, you can streamline your routine tasks. You can make sure that your team is focusing on the things that really matter, which are building relationships. And really, that's my role here with NAC, is to build relationships between us, between other partners, between Salesforce and everyone within the ecosystem. So I know how important building relationships and fostering trust and loyalty really means in this ecosystem and how important it is to you and your constituents. So moving forward, the last point is 5, flexibility and customization. This is really your unique brand in your unique way. We understand as a business that everyone is unique and everyone has their own fingerprint. Experience Cloud really embraces this diversity, and that's why we're so passionate about it here at AC. We love to offer that level of flexibility and customization that allows you to create an environment that mirrors your brand. So everything from layout to content the platform really adapts to your vision. It allows you to ensure a consistent brand experience that resonates with your audience. Next up, I want to talk about things like starter apps, themes, components. What does this all mean? So picture this. You have a project ahead of you. You want to hit the ground running. That's where Experience Cloud comes in. And we're going to have to keep this really high level, but I'm getting quite excited about the topic. This platform really offers you a way to configure templates designed for specific use cases. And these templates provide a starting point for you. And then the added benefit of helpful configuration options really allows you to tailor them to your specific needs. So it's like having a blueprint for success right from the beginning. And the teams that you work with to implement your Experience Cloud site will be working with you from day one to really understand the different components and complexities of your organization and your membership, so that when we create these custom templates that become really easy to manipulate and to implement within your organization, we're hitting the nail on the head from the beginning. We're listening to the way that your membership is interacting with your user base, your website, your organization from the beginning. So when we create these templates and you go ahead and implement them, people feel like they're hitting the ground running. They feel like they are joining an experience where it's tailor-made, it's personalized toward them and toward their goals, and they feel like they can truly engage in a meaningful way. So one way we've really helped customers to create these custom templates is by understanding the different types of member that an organization has, and then creating that singular template for each member type. That way, when you're adding new members, you've sort of got this tailor-made template ready to go for each member type. And that brings us really to faster time to ROI. And we use standard components a lot to help us do that. So time is really of the essence in today's world. We know this. So with the Salesforce starter apps, things like themes, things like components, you are basically given a treasure chest of about 100 different standard components. And these components are really designed to address common scenarios like displaying record data or managing CMS content. And so by leveraging these pre-built components, you can then significantly expedite your application development process. And the result is that your ideas come to life in record time. Lastly, we want to power each external process. But we're not really just stopping at templates and components. So Salesforce Experience Cloud templates are not static designs. They come packed with sort of these unique and scenario-specific flows and process automation. And that means that not only your applications will look great, but they will function seamlessly. And that integrated flow and automation are really there to power your external workflows. And that ensures that your applications aren't just visually appealing, but they actually streamline your process. Next up, experience personalization. So we want to power personalized experiences. We live in this world that is completely driven by data. From the second we wake up in the morning, we are driven by data. Our data is being collected. The second we turn on our phone, we start inputting data, receiving data. And so personalization has really emerged as this powerful tool to captivate your audience. You want your members to feel that they belong within your organization. So with Salesforce Experience Cloud, you can actually harness the data within your CRM and, as Tom was talking about, your CDP, so your customer data platform. And that enables you to craft these personalized experiences that resonate with your users on a much deeper level. So think about tailoring your site or your portal or your app to meet the unique preferences and needs of each individual user. And really the best part is you have a range of intelligent tools at your disposal with Experience Cloud to achieve this. Next up, we want to be able to address specific audiences with clicks. What does that mean? So imagine you have the capability to target specific audiences with surgical precision without needing to dive into complex code. Salesforce loves to use this phrase called clicks, not code. You'll hear that a lot in the ecosystem. So with things like the audiences tool within Salesforce Experience Cloud, you can do just that. You can easily target specific individuals or groups of people and then customize what they see on your site. So whether that's particular pages or specific sections or layers of content. So this level of granularity really allows you to speak directly to your audience, and that delivers the content that resonates with them. Lastly, I'm going to pull up sort of a fun, new, and also developing piece within Experience Cloud, which is driving curated content with Einstein. So personalization is not just about showing the right content, it's showing the content that converts. So that's where Einstein comes in. By utilizing and integrating the CDP, so the customer data platform, and something we call the interaction studio, you can actually display content that is not only personalized, but it's strategically chosen to drive conversions within your membership. So Einstein suggests sort of the next best action based on your user behavior and your historical data. So this proactive approach really ensures that your users are guided toward the actions that really matter the most to your business. Next up, we're going to talk about scalability. So Experience Cloud is designed for consumer grade scale. So when it comes to the digital experience, being able to scale with your business matters. And Experience Cloud specifically has been engineered to meet the demands of consumer grade scalability. It has the ability to support up to 100 million end users and over 10 million daily page views per organization, and that comes out of the box. So you're equipped to handle the traffic and the interactions that propel your business forward. And this scalability really empowers you to grow and expand your digital presence with the confidence of knowing that your platform can handle the load. It also gives you the ability to deliver with a global distribution network. So speed and responsiveness are really paramount in the digital age. And to ensure that you get sort of that lightning fast, pardon the pun, load time and the seamless user experience, Experience Cloud comes equipped with an integrated global CDN, which stands for Content Delivery Network. And alternatively, because Experience Cloud is so flexible, you actually have the ability to bring in your own CDN if you prefer. Some users prefer that. But this global distribution network really ensures that your content is delivered efficiently to all of your users, whether they're local to you or they're around the world. And that really reduces your latency and it enhances your overall user satisfaction. You also have the ability to use the full stack or go headless, just kind of a silly word, but basically the flexibility is at the core of Experience Cloud design. And obviously that's what we've been talking about this whole time, is this flexible platform, right? You have the option to run it as a full stack managed web platform. So you can enjoy the simplicity and sort of the integrated features that come with it. But on the other hand, if you're looking for even more customization and control over that front end experience, you can actually opt to use content APIs with your own front end. So that's the headless approach. It really empowers you to create these tailored experiences while still really leveraging the power of Experience Cloud's back-end capabilities. As we come to a sort of wrapping up phase here, I want to talk about a couple of our customer use cases. Now, I want to keep this mostly about thought leadership, but obviously we are an implementation partner and a product partner in this space, and we live and breathe Experience Cloud every single day. And so I think it's a bit imperative to talk about some of the work that we've done, maybe not so much as a selling point, but as a hey, we've done this, we've worked with these types of customers, we've worked at scale, and here's what we've found really works for this type of customer. So one of the things that I love to brag about a little bit with AC is that actually Salesforce is our biggest customer, because Salesforce acquired Mulesoft. And Mulesoft we ended up working with because they were struggling to troubleshoot problems that its customers would encounter while providing guidance on its products and solutions. And then we wanted to get feedback from customers and really understand which features were most required in its overall range of products. So Advanced Communities was really involved in the strategic project of moving Mulesoft Help Center from an old sort of legacy PHP forum to Salesforce Community Cloud. And that involved moving about 20,000 forum users with discussions, likes, follows, reputation points, things like images and user pics, all to Salesforce. So the AC team developed this comprehensive help center, which actually comprises a Salesforce community with training and support capabilities. In the end, the benefit was that the Mulesoft Help Center, built on Experience Cloud, ensured that its customers gained this efficient and sort of technical assistance in troubleshooting and getting answers to their questions, and also solving known issues. And we also have a number of components that sort of provide this wide range of functionality, and it serves as a Mulesoft point of contact for users to generate new ideas. And it really created this sophisticated knowledge base, and it strengthened the relationships with Mulesoft's customers. Next up, we'll talk to you a little bit about BigCommerce. And Tom, if you have anything you want to jump in with here, I'm very happy to. Tom was very active on the BigCommerce use case. But the challenge was that BigCommerce had more than 60,000 customers, and this quality user experience and support became crucial, as you can imagine, with such a wide customer base. And the BigCommerce Help Center was required because it needed to provide sort of a high-end experience for customers to access things like documentation and videos, see events, be able to attend and register for events, and then other support options as well. So Advanced Communities ended up developing a community that included a customized version of Salesforce Knowledge, another component on Experience Cloud. We also enabled custom search that was integrated with an external index engine. And then AC Ideas Ultimate, another product that we built for Experience Cloud, with things like social features in order to implement sort of this slick and modern design. So we use Lightning Bolt template to do that. Tom, did you want to jump in and talk a little bit about BigCommerce, or should I just move forward?
Yeah, I'll just add that I think one of the things that was really important about this one is just the overall design, because it is one of those things where I mentioned pixel perfect. With a custom design template, you really have a great looking community. I know there's only so much you can see on this slide, but maybe that's something that we can share in the chat, the actual URL for the site. But I think that's one of the things that really sets it apart. And a lot of times when we're showing it to customers or prospective customers, a reaction can kind of be, wow, that doesn't look like Salesforce. So it just gives you a sense of what's possible. But yeah, I don't think I would add too much more. And I know that we want to kind of get through these so we can open it up to Q&A.
Yeah, absolutely. The last one, I'm going to skip through one of them. And then the last one I want to talk about is one that's kind of close to me, I think, with the CDC Foundation. So this is the Center for Disease Control, but the foundation itself. And this is an interesting use case because the CDC Foundation were struggling to sort of reunite their network of something they're calling EIS, which is the Epidemic Intelligence Service alumni, with one unified platform. So they've got these individuals that go through this epidemic intelligence service program, and then they become alumni of this program. And they wanted to reunify these alumni together. And the objective was really to create a shared space where the alumni could seamlessly connect and they could collaborate. They could leverage sort of their different diverse interests and professional experiences and education from the EIS program. And so to achieve this, the project really required the incorporation of a job board, things like groups. Those function a lot like Facebook groups. So if you're not terribly familiar yet with Experience Cloud, groups is something that people find really powerful. And also event management. So we also have a native to Salesforce event management platform that allows you to host and register for events within Experience Cloud. And so we've implemented all of those solutions for the CDC Foundation. Ultimately, we stepped in to sort of provide this solution for all of their intricate requirements. You can imagine that someone like the CDC has quite a high level of intricacy when it comes to Experience Cloud. And so by leveraging the power of AC, implementing Experience Cloud, and also our membership solution, they were really able to transform their overall vision into reality. We developed an alumni portal that was tailored precisely to the needs of the CDC Foundation. And then in conjunction with this portal, the MemberSmart app was integrated, which became really the cornerstone of the solution. And this integration or implementation, I should say, really brought forth a myriad of functionalities that proved to be instrumental for them. And ultimately, the result, the outcome was that we have an all-encompassing platform where the CDC alumni can jump into a portal. They can understand things like an intuitive job board, see streamlined events. And these features really empowered EIS to reconnect and to start functioning again within the community in the way that the CDC Foundation had really envisioned for their alumni to be able to communicate in the future. Next up, I'm going to pass this over, I think, to Tom. We have also in the chat, maybe one of the admins can help me here. I think we've shared our free Salesforce Experience Cloud ebook for download. So you're able to actually download the ebook from the chat. I'm not quite sure how that's working. Maybe Ben can help, or Eva. There it is. I can see it on screen. So Eva's saying, check out the ebook. We can see that some of you have downloaded it already. Please grab this. We put this together just for this LinkedIn Live. So if you've got any questions sort of about Experience Cloud or about how Advanced Communities works in this space, start with the ebook, but also, of course, feel free to just reach out to us. And with that, I think that kicks off our Q&A.
Great. Thanks so much, guys. Really insightful to hear all the different use cases for Experience Cloud, and I think it's amazing. Like, you can roll out a super simple, basic one with standard functionality and go all the way to, commerce site delivering an experience for millions of users. So yeah, great to see, and thank you for staying so cool under the technical issues at the start of the call. You can everyone's from the Salesforce ecosystem because everyone in the comments was trying to troubleshoot the issue for us, but we got there in the end.
Oh man, I didn't get to see those, but that would have been great. I love the community effort.
Well, I can share the solution was only a single AirPod, and that seemed to solve everything.
There we go. Great. Well, yeah, thank you so much, guys. I'm going to bring Kevin on to the stream as well. Hey there, Kevin. You might know Kevin from the comments, who was kindly jumping to everyone's assistance. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Good. Do you mind just introducing yourself quickly?
Sure. Yeah, Kevin Dwyer, Director here of Solution Engineering at Advanced Communities. So I've been in the Salesforce ecosystem probably 14 years now, based in Charlotte, North Carolina, part of this great Advanced Communities team. Great to be here.
Great, thanks so much, Kevin. So we've got 10 minutes left on the webinar. So if you have any questions for Kevin, Tom, or Rebekah, feel free to drop them in the chat right now. But to get us kicked off, I guess a question from me: if I was really intrigued by this web and I want to learn more about Experience Cloud, what are some of the best resources out there to start learning?
Yeah, I can take that. So the best resource right off the bat I would get started with is the learnexperiencecloud.com site. So there's a lot of great resources there, not just updates on releases, but also journeys for each use case. So there's a journey for the customer portal use case and the partner portal use case, and provides all those different resources through all those different stages. So that's great. Plus great blogs out there from a lot of my peers and events as well. So you can join events and look at past recordings. It's really a great site. So learnexperiencecloud.com.
Thanks so much, Kevin. And there is a question here from Smitha. Does each community site come with its own default set of profiles?
Yeah, great question. So this is again like a team effort in the comments, but it does come with that guest user profile. Okay, so Salesforce has done a lot around guest user profile and documentation and security around that. So I would definitely check out that information, and you can go to learnexperiencecloud.com or just Salesforce help to get more information on that. But then also when when Salesforce provisions those licenses for you, they come with those standard profiles. And I'm of the school of let's clone that profile, get a custom profile, and use that, and also add some permission sets on top of it.
Nice, thank you very much. And in terms of you touched on this a bit, but you can create different experiences for users, customers, and partners. But can you have customers and partners on the same site?
Yeah, it's a great question, and we get it all the time. And yes, absolutely, you can. And with personalization and audience targeting, I think Rebekah and Tom mentioned this. You can have one site, and you can have multiple different personas accessing that site with different page variations, different components, different menu navigation. So yeah, you can definitely do that. There's a trade-off, when you look at the different use cases for each one of these personas. If it's a really different use case, you may want to consider a different site. But yes, you can put them all together.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. And a question that's coming up from YouTube. What are the different license types you can get with Experience Cloud? Because I think I remember back from some implementations I was involved in, you could have kind of specified user licenses like Salesforce, but you could also have like a certain number of logins per month if it was a high volume site. Yeah.
So there's the typical licenses that we're going to see. You will see platform licenses sometimes with those app use cases. But customer community license, that's going to be your high volume B2C type of a license. A customer community plus, it's going to be an elevated permissions there. It's going to be a role-based license. That's going to give you that advanced sharing, reports and dashboards, things like that. But advanced sharing is key there. And then for partner, it's the partner community license is what we see for that one specifically. Now, when we talk about, members or licenses, you could buy them. This is kind of a purchase or pricing discussion, really, how you want to purchase the logins. You can buy a set of logins, let's say 500 logins, and have your users, when they access the community, they're going to use a login, and that's over a 24-hour period. There's not going to be a second login if you log in right after that. So one login every 24 hours. So you can do it by logins, or you can do it by members, which is basically like I'm a member, I'm a user of Salesforce. That's how it works. Unlimited access that way.
Yeah, and I just would add to that, Ben, you can do a hybrid. So you could have some of each. You might have an X number of logins, and then you might have a Y number of registered users. So you can kind of mix and match that way.
Yeah.
Nice. Great to hear. Thank you. I'll just pause there just to see if there's any final questions that have come in. I think, Kevin, you did a pretty good job in the comments, and quite a lot of them are answered already. So yeah, there's links to the Learn Experience Cloud site in the comments. So feel free to, I'll just bring it bring it up. Thank you, Stas. And then there's also the ebook that Advanced Communities have put together in the links as well. I think that's everything then. Those are all the questions. So let's wrap up then. So thank you so much for everyone for attending today. This was a super popular webinar, although we had kind of 300 people looking at our technical issues at the start. We got through them, and it was a great webinar. So Tom, Rebekah, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us today. Any final words before we break? Tom?
I was going to say, if you come see me in San Francisco at Dreamforce, I promise there will be no technical issues if we meet in person.
And Rebekah?
Yeah, we'll all be, as like Tom said, we'll all be at Dreamforce here in the next couple of weeks. So I hope to see several of you there. Please stop and say hi if you see us. And yeah, I think sort of all the collaborative effort to help with technical issues really feels like a Salesforce community. So I'll leave you with that.
Great. Thanks, Rebekah. And Kevin?
Yeah, just thank you to everyone that joined today and took time out of your day to learn about Experience Cloud. And I love the collaboration and all the questions. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Great
community here.
Thanks so much, everyone. See you on the next one.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.